In this video, I'm going to look at the first page of the MyMaths Indices 3 homework. So we're looking at roots here, and we're turning them into powers, or indices. So, square root of a, you can imagine that there's an invisible 2 here for the square root, but often we drop it. We just write the square root with a root without the 2, but it's the same thing. That is the exact same as a to the power of 1/2, because we've got a to the power of 1 and then the square root is the denominator. So that's 1/2, 1/2. Next one here, we have c. Again, it's c to the power of 1 here, but our root is the 6th root this time, so your denominator is 6. So it's c to the power of 1/6. C to the power of 1/6. Your next one here, we have x to the power of 4, and then we have the 5th root of that. So again, starting off, x to the power of 4, but writing that root as a power, we have 4/5. So whatever the root is, that's your denominator and your power. Next one, we'll deal with this in 2 stages. So we'll deal with the root first off, just like we've been doing. So we still have 1 over, then the square root of e, that's just e to the power of 1/2, because it's the square root. Now we need to write this as e to the power of something. So you need to think about your negative indices. And instead of being 1/e to the power of 1/2, it's going to be e to the power of -1/2. And you can write that in your MyMaths as just -1/2. Your next one, again, we'll deal with our roots first. So 1 over, it's x to the power of 4, and that's over 8, because it's the 8th root. Just noticing that one, you can simplify it down, so I'm going to do that first. 1 over x to the power of 4 divided by 4 is 1, 8 divided by 4 is 2. So it's x to the power of 1/2. You always simplify fractions if you can. And that will give you, again using your negative powers, x to the power of -1/2. Okay. We then have slightly more going on in the next few. So for the next one here, let's do what is underneath your root first off. So I'm going to leave that 6th root there. And then I'm going to deal with this bracket. Now, remembering brackets and indices, this is going to be 8 to the power of 6. You have to do your 8 to the power of 6 times by a to the power of, and if you remember your indices rules, if you've got a bracket, it's 3 times by 6. So bracket, you multiply your indices. So that equals your 6th root of, well, you could do 8 to the power of 6 here if you type that into your calculator. But what I might do is actually split this up here. I'm going to do 6th root of 8 to the power of 6, because those two things are going to cancel each other out. And then we've got the 6th root of a to the power of, and 3 times by 6 is 18. So keep on going here. I just said squared and square roots cancel each other out. So to the power of 6 and 6th roots also cancel each other out. So you're actually left with your number 8 there. And then with our letter, we've got a to the power of 18/6, because that's your 6th root. And going even further, we can simplify that down. That's 8a 18/6. That simplifies down. How many 6's are in 18? 6. 3's are 18. So that's going to be 8a cubed. All right, our next one here, again, we've got a bracket to deal with. So 4th root of, and we have b to the power of 2/7 times by 5. Now remember, any whole number you can write as over 1. That might help us out whenever we're multiplying that. And that equals the 4th root of b to the power of, well, 2 times by 5 is 10, and 7 times by 1 is 7. Okay. And then that equals, well, we have b to the power of 10/7. And we're actually going to be dividing that by 4. So up until now I've written it as over 4, but a fraction is very messy. So that, rather than over 4, that's the same as dividing by 4. So dividing by 4 over 1. Again, any whole number can be written as over 1. That equals b to the power of 10/7. To divide fractions, you turn your sign to multiply and flip the second fraction upside down. So keep, change, flip. We can simplify down a little bit. 2 goes into 10 5 times and into 4 twice. And you have b to the power of 5 times by 1 is 5, 7 times by 2, 14. So b to the power of 5/14. If you hadn't simplified, you could have just sort of simplified down later and had 10 over 28 and simplified down to 5 over 14. Okay, our second last one now. So we've got a division to do, so we've got cube root here. And then remembering that c to the power of 13 divided by 3c to the power of 7 is c to the power of 13 take away 7. So thinking about your division rule. So that is the cube root of c to the power of 13 take away 7. That's going to leave you with 6, which equals c to the power of 6 divided by 3. And that equals c to the power of 2. Last one, multiplying. So we have 8 times by 27, multiplying your numbers, and then times by d to the power of 6. If you're multiplying, you add your powers, so it's plus minus 2. So bring your numbers together and then your d's together. That equals the cube root of 8 times by 27, or you could do them separately. It's totally up to you. So actually, let's do them separately since you don't need a calculator. So cube root of 8, the cube root of 27, and then we've got the cube root of d to the power of 6 plus minus 2 is 6 minus 2, which is 4. Okay, almost there. Cube root of 8 is 2, because you multiply 2 by itself 3 times to get 8. 2 times by 2 is 4, times by 2 is 8. Cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times by 3 is 9, times by 3 is 27. And then you've got d to the power of 4 over 3. And tidying that up, 2 times by 3 is 6. D to the power of 4 thirds. And that is you, all done and dusted. So give that page a go now, and then see if you can go and get going on page 2 of the MyMaths.